I like scholarships that are not popular, because while everybody is busy going to all of those very popular scholarships and nobody is getting them, there are scholarships like this one that many people are not talking about at all. So by the end of this video, you are going to know a scholarship that I actually want you all to apply for it. And I want you all to apply for it because I have not had a ton of people talking about these opportunities. And as I always say, most of the times, while everyone is running left, if you run right, the chances that you are going to win is going to be extremely high. And you're going to know how to win this particular scholarship. Just keep watching, okay? So you have a golden ticket here. We are looking at what is covered versus what is not covered. So this is like what you get. 100% of your tuition fees will be paid. Monthly student stipend is going to be paid. What you have to budget for, you have to budget for your flights and your accommodation, and then your visa processing fees. So you are not handed a blank check with living cost lower than, you're not handed a blank check, but living cost is 57.5% lower than major European cities. So whatever it is that you have as a budget to study abroad, this is going to significantly reduce it, because you are going to a country that, like, as I said, not many people are talking about this. So the chances that you can get to spend way less is very, very high. And this is Kazakhstan, I think, is Central Asia. This the Eurasia. It's Eurasia, which is, yes, Central Asia. So I don't think this is Europe. But this is like you're spending 50 something percent less than what you would normally spend in Europe. So let's look at the total number of seats. And this is the reason why I want you all to apply for the scholarships. Like, listen. Here, bachelor students, you have 490 slots. Whew. Master students, you have 50 slots. PhD students, 10 slots. The pathways narrow significantly, so maximize your eligibility now. So what is a checklist that you need in order to apply for it? Number one, you have to be a foreign citizen. Number two, you have to have a GPA of 3.0 on 4 required for masters and PhDs. So if you're a bachelor's, you all let me know in the comment sections. Are you all bachelor's? Are you all masters? Are you all PhDs? And then I'm not sure what the requirements will be for bachelor students. Good standing in secondary education, okay, for bachelor students, and then first time studying at the requested degree level. I think that is a pretty sort of decent ask from everyone that is applying for it. And with this number of slots, I definitely think that you can make a good case for why you should get the scholarship. I really think, like, if you have 490 slots and you cannot get one slot, you are definitely the problem. All right, let's see here. So step one, what are the things that you have to do? They have an official portal. So the first step is create a profile at the ENIC Kazakhstan Study in KZ portal. Select your study level, that's bachelor's, master's, PhD, and language of instruction. You can choose either Kazakh, Russian, or English. English, because I know that all of you here speak English. I don't think any of you speaks Russian or Kazakh. I am very sure of that. Insider hack here, the portal defaults to Kazakh or Russian. Oh, okay. So you should use either Chrome translation extension immediately when selecting your program. Filter strictly by English instruction, unless you are already like a C1 or C2 Russian speaker. I think that this is like mostly the case with several portals. Like you have to use like a regular Google or like a Chrome page, because on a Chrome page you're able to ask it, you're able to tell it to translate this particular page to whatever language that you are comfortable communicating in, and it is in that language that you're comfortable communicating with that you will be able to fill up all the things. I think that this is why this is such a good hack, because you probably will be overwhelmed if you go and click on the page. Let's say you go to the website, you click on the page, and then immediately because it said the default language is Kazakh, right, or Russian. So if it defaults to that language, you can be like, oh my goodness, what do I do from here, right? So this is what you should do. Let's look at step 2. You have the document prep. So here you have to upload your passport into that portal that you have signed into, right? Your passport, your transcripts, your recommendation letters, 2 of them, and then international language certificate. So they're giving us 3 hacks here on how you are going to make it through. Number 1, they have an MOI bypass. Oh, if you don't have $200 for IELTS certificate, if your previous school taught in English, you can submit the official medium of instruction certificate to bypass the test. Wow, that's amazing. You all let me know in the comment section who amongst you already have your English language, what is it called, IELTS or IELTS certificates, TOEFL certificates, Duolingo certificates. But here you can just reach out to your university and tell them that I want a certificate to show that I studied in English, and you're good to go. That's amazing, right? And then they have hack 2, the WES calculator. The portal requires a 4.0 scale GPA. Use the free WES calculator to convert your local grades accurately before uploading. This is so good because at least you can know, you can make sure that even you can tell yourself like, okay, no matter the calculator that we use, some people are on a scale of 100, some on 20. You can now calculate it to bring it to a scale of 4. And you can just know if you're eligible or not, okay? And then hack 3, the single file. The portal can be glitchy. Merge all your certificates and transcripts into a single PDF to guarantee a seamless upload. And with things like this, you can actually do this on your computer by yourself, right? And then when you sign into the portal, you're signing there, then you just upload one PDF. And this one PDF has all of your files. That way, you don't have like, okay, I have to upload the first thing, then upload the second thing, then upload the third thing. So it actually saves you a lot of stress. So do that on your computer before you go there. So y'all go to the portal, sign into the portal. Even right now, like, sign into the portal and let me know in the comment section, what are you seeing? How does the portal look like? Like, are you able to use Chrome to translate it to English? Let me know in the comment section, okay? Step 3, verification and medical. So here the operator verification of documents and submission of a medical certificate of health status. Hack 1, the HIV/AIDS mandate. Oh my goodness. A generic physical is not enough. Your medical certificate must explicitly confirm the absence of HIV and AIDS issued by an official health authority. Get it officially stamped. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Why specifically HIV/AIDS? Listen, I'm an African kid. I grew up with a lot of stigma around HIV and AIDS. So when I understand when people say, okay, people should check for HIV and AIDS, but it's like, it's so specific. Like why specifically HIV and AIDS? Like, why is sexually transmitted disease? I cannot get. I don't know. It just sounds weird. Okay, the second hack here, the system automatically checks passport validity. Ensure your passport is valid for at least the full duration of your intended degree before you hit submit, or you will automatically be flagged. That is interesting because I don't know, a bachelor's program there is how many years? Because in my country, y'all let me know in the comment section, how long is your passport before it expires? I think in my country it's 5 years. Then you have to renew your passport every 5 years. So if I'm going in for a PhD program that is going to take like 6-7 years, y'all want me to have edited my passport to sort of show like, I don't know. Y'all let me know, for how long is the validity of your passport? Tell me your country and then let me know how long is the validity of your passport, okay? All right, let's look at step 4 here, the adaptive potential test. So they are not actually checking for academic knowledge and math. Wow, what scholarships? Okay, yes, I've done a ton of videos on this channel where we've spoken about scholarships that they are not really looking into GPAs, right? But still, it's just amazing to find another one. They are looking for adaptability and resilience. So they have an online testing to identify adaptive potential. The link is sent to the applicant's email after document verification. Oh wow, so you're going to get it. So an insider hack here, it is a psych test, not a math test. Don't panic and try to study academic subjects. This is a behavioral assessment designed to see if you can handle culture shock and living thousands of miles from home. So the strategy is be authentic, be highly adaptable, and show open-mindedness in your multiple choice answers. Oh my goodness. I actually think that with other scholarships, this is also the case because they are really, really trying to gauge like, are you someone that can live in a foreign country? And the thing is, it is not just living in a foreign country, but it's usually living in a foreign country where the language is different from the language that you normally speak. Probably you have to learn a new language. You have to, of course, learn a new culture, but at the same time also, how much of a flexible person are you to be able to live in those societies? If you're those type of people who like stick to my old ways of doing things and I'm not changing, then probably it's not a good idea for you all to go. Let's go to step 5. Then you're going to have a Zoom interview. So you're going to have online interviews with representatives from the Ministry of Science and target universities. So these are the hacks that you should use. Number 1, your letter is your script. You submitted a 250 to 500 word motivation letter. The panel bases their questions entirely on it. Know it by heart. Oh my goodness. So you write a motivation letter and then they use that motivation letter to ask you questions. So you should know everything in your motivation letter. Okay, that is sensible. You should know everything in your motivation letter because you are the one who wrote it, right? And then hack 2, why Kazakhstan defense? You must articulate why you chose your major and why Kazakhstan is a critical bridge to your career goals. Be specific about the university you selected. I think this is really, really the case with so many government scholarships because the goal of several government scholarship providers is they want to build some kind of a soft power between your country and their country. They want to build diplomatic relationships. They want to build a kind of a bridge between your country and their country. So they are asking you why. You could have gone and studied this in any other country. Why this particular university, or why our country? And then you can now use a university, a lab, a professor, as well as the reasons that you can give to justify why, right? Okay, so let's talk about, can you go with your family? So if you're bringing your family, spouse is eligible if you've been married for 3+ years. Okay, this is interesting because someone reached out to me asking me about by the time they're applying for MEXT, they will not be married. But by the time MEXT results come out, they will be married. So what status should they put in their documents? And I was like, I have no idea. I have no idea. All right, parents, dependent parents can be included under specific family reunification terms. Okay, that is interesting. And then children, minor children are fully eligible to accompany the applicant. That is amazing. That is amazing. So the hack here is don't apply for standard tourist visas for your family. There is a C2 family visa. It is specifically designed for international students and aligns perfectly with your study duration. That is something to remember, okay? That is something to remember. So it is called the C2 family visa. Apply for that in order to bring your loved ones, your parents, your dependents, your children. I think it shows that this is they don't cause a big hassle, which I think is a good thing. So let's look at the student hustle. How expensive or how cheap is this? Economics of living. So the reality is Kazakh living costs are 57.5% cheaper than major European hubs, okay? Your monthly government stipend goes entirely to the living cost, allowing for a comfortable lifestyle. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing because as we saw in the second slide, right? They are not covering everything. They give you a stipend and cover your tuition fees and that's all. You have to pay your flight there. You have to pay your accommodation. But based off of this, they say the stipend can cover all of those things. And then there is a digital nomad hack. So they have the freelance advantage while local part-time wages are modest. International students leverage their neo-nomad trend. They use their off hours to work remotely or freelance globally, enjoying premium lifestyle on a digital income. That is amazing. That is amazing. So you can be living in Kazakhstan using that particular digital nomad visa, and then you work remote in several countries, and maybe you even get paid in some kind of foreign currencies that when you translate it to their local currency, it is really good. All right, now let's look at the job market landscape. So you have this stable unemployment rate, and then you have flat personal income tax. So here you have the to future-proof your career, you have this flat personal income tax, and then stable employment. It's like 4.6%. Let's see, become booming sectors for graduates. All right, so which sectors are growing fast? You have information technology, which is fueled by Astana Hub tax incentives. Also, they have some kind of a tax incentives destination. And then the solid foundation is oil, gas, and energy, the historical backbone paying engineering premiums. Okay, finance and e-commerce rapidly digitizing and hungry for international talent. There's a high demand, so you have to focus on the skills. So the highest is information technology, then next oil, gas, and energy, and then finance and e-commerce. This is the thing. When I look through Central Asian countries, and given that I went to school with a lot of Central Asian students, most of them applied to leave Kazakhstan and come study in Japan, go study in different places. I don't think that the like you can go there to study, but I don't think that you should. That I don't think that if you don't want to, you don't necessarily have to leave there. You can study and then you move. Of course, if you, throughout the time that you're studying, you really enjoyed, you can stay there. But if you look at those chunks of jobs that they are talking about, you see that you do not have a lot of options. So probably it's a better strategy to study on the scholarship and then build that relationship with the country, and then you can now move somewhere else. Pathways to PR. So you have graduation, then the high demand field, and then they give you the B9 permanent residence visa. So it is so the B9 PR visa pathway. It was launched in early 2025. This visa targets professionals in high demand fields to integrate seamlessly into the local economy. So the insider hack here is reverse engineer your degree. If your ultimate goal is PR, major in a government desired STEM or tech sector. The transition from student visa to B9 visa is fast-tracked for these disciplines. Going back to what we're talking about, that idea of what is your goal? Are you looking at Kazakhstan as a place where you want to go study and then move to a different place? Or are you looking at it like, okay, this is like some place that I will want to be long term? Because that is going to influence the choices that you make right now, right? Just as I said, reverse engineer it. What does the government want? Study what they want, then you can now easily get a job. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to be there long term, it doesn't matter. Study whatever it is that you want to study, and when you're done, you now take those skills to wherever it is that you really want to go to. So the golden visa and citizenship, the stay and thrive metric. So part one, you have the standard route, target, skilled workers and graduates. The method here, transition to long-term legal employment, and then the benefit, you pay 10% flat tax and integrate into the labor market. Over 5+ years of citizenship. Okay, the insider hack here is build your network early for a smoother C3 transition. All right, and then path 2 here, we're looking at the golden visa. So this is the target is for entrepreneurs and high net worth tech founders. So you have to invest $300,000 in authorized Kazakh companies or securities, and immediately you benefit from a 10-year residence permit and zero tax on foreign sourced income. The insider note here is tax benefits here are a game changer for global income. So this really depends on if you really want to, like, you're so passionate about Kazakhstan, you want to stay there long term, and you're looking for what are the ways that I can use here to stay in this country long term. But if you're just going to study, and even if you want to get to PR, I don't think that you have to go through all of this, paying this a ton of money. But this is just for information purposes. At least you should know. Now let's look at a timeline. So March 30th, which is a couple of weeks ago, the portal opens and registration begins, and this is going to run right through till May 31, which is the final deadline to submit all the merged PDFs into the application form. Do not wait for the final day as usual, and then the results are going to get out on August 28th. And I hope that you all are able to apply for this scholarship, as many as possible of you. I've told you all already, there are so many scholarships that are extremely famous. Everybody is rushing to those scholarships, but what you can see is that the number of acceptance rate is very low. But if you see a scholarship here with 490 slots for bachelors, 50 slots for masters, 10 slots for PhD, why won't you want to apply? and they are giving you all of these finances. So y'all go ahead, apply. Y'all let me know in the comment section, are y'all going to be applying? How does the portal look like? Let's have a conversation. I hope that this was helpful. Like the video, share the video, and if there's anybody that you think that this information is going to help, tag them and tell them to come watch this video. Okay, I'm going to see you all in the next one. Peace.